Hello and welcome back to MDriven. This is a short one. There's a new functionality that has been implemented for Turnkey to allow for how this left side menu, when it should show or not. So before it was or rather browser specific, so the view you looked at remembered its state, but nothing more. Now there has been requirements to be able to set this on a per user level. So whenever you press this one telling the application that you want it out, other pages showing from the application should also listen to that immediately. And this change should be able to be persisted on the user that is logged in. Currently I'm testing this on a system that has no logged in user, but I'm going to show you how this added functionality allows us to actually have this memory of whether or not the left side should be out, not only per application, but also if we really want per view model type. So these are of different types, but they still listen to the same. So this is persisted, meaning that if I go to something completely else, that is remembered, and if the value is off and I go back to the first one, the value is remembered that it should be off. So how does this work? It's described here in the wiki under this new update. So it's under the section for hide main menu or left menu. So if you want to persist the state of the sidebar for a specific user, you now have an easy way of implementing that in your model. To make this happen, you follow this pattern by adding two methods to the sys_singleton class. And of course, sys_singleton is its own pattern that we not going to discuss here today. So there's two methods that are supposed to be on sys_singleton in order for this to work. Get left menu show with the view name. If you send in the view name, and that would be the view model name, you will get back a boolean, or should get back a boolean. This is actually up to you. And the same set left menu show with the current value, what you want it to be for a specific view, and the return value is the same as you send it. I've implemented this in my simple test model. Get left menu show, and we can see it has a view name, and it returns a boolean, and the set left menu show looks just as in the documentation. Good. Now, where is this value coming from? Because this will be called by the logic get left menu show. Where is it actually coming from? So the implementation of this one just grabs an attribute on sys_singleton called left menu, which is a boolean, and the set left menu, equally simple, just grabs the same attribute and assigns it to the yes no value. So this, my implementation, which is simple, ignores the view name. It could easily have been stored in, if we had some kind of object to store per view state for this, but for this demonstration I have ignored that. And as I said, the requirement was to do this per current user. Well, that would easily be fixed by changing, for example, this expression to instead take it from the current user object. So this is the logged in user, and then we would get the value from there instead. Now I haven't added an attribute left menu on this user, but I could easily do that. Okay, something else regarding this. Well, in practice this means that we can check the documentation again. The sys_singleton set left will be called when the user changes state of showing the left side menu. You can in this method store a specific value as you see fit. And the same for the get left menu. You should return the value that you want. All of the above logic is backed by an automatically injected view model OCL variable named __ user sidebar show memory. So if you don't have to design this variable, it will be added if it's not designed. But if you design it, like I did here, then I could potentially add a button here called toggle side and implement that as just shifting the value on this variable user sidebar show memory. Okay, and if that is the case, I would assume that pressing this would flip the left side back and forth. Notice that this toggling is not propagating to the others because I haven't actually there's some logic behind or to trigger the propagation when the information comes the way via these buttons. But basically this enables us to toggle the left side with code if that is something that we had wanted to do. But the generic way to store things, persistence over the application, will only be backed by using the actual buttons. When I shrink this really a lot, yeah, it shows it's the same if I flip it and turn it on and flip it. Yeah, so yeah, I guess one more thing to show is that if we have another user which isn't part of, so this pink user isn't part of this orange session, they will be kept apart. So when this one toggles, nothing happens for these two. So it's not a system-wide as I have implemented now. It's rather a session-wide currently. But yeah, and that will be pretty much as a user-wide. But the difference is that you want to store the value in the database per user. Okay, good. That was all for today. Thank you for listening.